When I started college 4 years ago, I just got broken up with and I was struggling to find out who I was and what I believed. Around this same time, the whole red pill ideology started to become a thing, and I was hooked on a lot of the stuff that I was hearing at the time. There were other things that I definitely didn't subscribe to, but most of the mentality and beliefs that I heard were exactly what I wanted to hear at the time and what I thought I needed. Today, I wanted to go over the good and bad things that the red pill movement taught me. So let's start with the good. One of the first things that I started to really learn and get better at was discipline. I learned a lot about doing things that you don't want to do for a long term gain. This is what got me to go to the gym, to stay consistent, to do hard things, and more. I appreciated and needed that push to do the things that I didn't want to do, and that helped me get to where I am today. I have the ability to do what I need to do, even though I don't necessarily want to do it. Another thing that I learned is motivation. I could wake up every day and get out of bed knowing that I get to do good things today. And I have to try to give 100% at everything I do. Every day is a new chance to build something, learn something, help someone, make new friends, or just be in the moment. Another thing that I learned was confidence. Whenever I am struggling to do something or I'm having anxiety, I can just say, be a man, and I will immediately feel better, and I'll be able to control my thoughts and become confident in my abilities and do whatever it is that I need to do. I know that on paper that sounds bad and like I'm pushing down my emotions, but it's more about controlling and filtering my emotions or doubts when I am trying to do something that needs to be done. For example, if I'm driving in heavy traffic and I'm starting to get anxiety, I can just tell myself to be a man and that anxiety will, to some extent, go away. And I am able to navigate the highway safer and with a greater attention than before. It's kind of like I'm flicking a switch in my mind to lock in and do what I need to do. Now, let's move over to all the bad things that I learned and all the bad habits that I got from this whole thing. And the first and biggest one is greed. When the whole red pill thing happened, I saw most people were just trying to make money by any means necessary. People didn't care if it was AI slop content, drop shipping and adding nothing to society, or making a fake course, or the hundred other bad ideas that you can do and unethical things that you can try to do. I ended up falling for this pretty heavy and trying to make a bunch of different quote business ideas that are pretty embarrassing and I was just trying to do to escape the rat race by any means necessary and that also would have contributed nothing to society. I wanted to go over a couple of them pretty briefly just to show where my mindset was at and how much I didn't care. The first one was a drop shipping store where I wanted to be a middleman for selling watches made out of wood from different companies. And I set up the website, but at the time I was a perfectionist, so I ended up not ever publishing it because I never got permission from the products I was trying to drop ship. The other business I tried to do was a art store that sold AI generated abstract canvases. This one is super embarrassing to me because I knew it was a bad idea and I only cared about can I get somebody to buy this even though it is nothing. I used an AI picture generation software to get abstract art until I had some quote good ones and then I would slap it onto a PDF onto a canvas through Wix or through Shopify, and I did end up publishing this website, and I did end up running ads for it, but luckily, nobody ever bought anything, which I'm super happy about. After that, I went over to AI shirt designs, which I actually thought were some pretty cool designs, but it was lazy, it was not creative, and it was mainly out of greed and because a couple of my other friends in college were doing things like that, so I thought I'd try it out. That one, I didn't end up selling anything again. I didn't end up publishing that idea anywhere, which is a good thing. But at least this one had a little bit of actual care and love into it instead of just greed. And then I moved over to eBay and stuck there because I actually get to do things and I get to provide value and I don't even make that much money off of it. And it's fun. It's actually a hobby that I want to do, not just because I get money, but because I like to collect things. Now, I state all of that to show how invested I was into this movement and how many hours I spent trying to get these things to work. I was willing to put aside ethics and passion for things that I didn't care about to be greedy. Almost any single video from any of these influencers was essentially someone is working harder than you right now, or your future wife is with somebody else since you aren't working right now, or you don't deserve free time, get back to work. All of these ideas of you never get to have any fun and you have to make as much money as possible and always be working as hard as possible to impress somebody or to be better than somebody, and just all of these things that just aren't true, but I fell for. The next issue was pride, which I kind of just touched on from earlier with all of these influencers. But it's this idea that you always have to be working and you always have to be in competition with other people because you need to be better than them. You need to look down on everybody else and work towards comparing yourself against everybody all the time just to see if you are working more than them. Now, that's all the big things that were going on in my head for the good and the bad of the whole red pill movement. But now that's been 4 years and I've actually lived out these things and learned about these things, I can see what I've learned from that bad and how I've been able to put all of that stuff away. And that is by acting out what you believe. Don't just say what sounds good. What got me out of the red pill movement was actually wanting to serve and provide value to other people instead of being greedy and arrogant all the time and spinning it to sound like I care and I want to help instead of actually wanting to do those things. I decided to change my philosophy on how I actually wanted to help so that I could actually choose things that provide value and not just act like I care about you just to steal your money. Another thing that I've learned out of all of this was respect. And I still struggle with this one. But over time, I have realized that I still have arrogance and pride that I need to remove from myself. I judge myself against others to make sure that I'm doing better than them. And I like to think that I'm smarter and more capable than others when I know that that's not the case. And as a Christian, I need to drill this point into my head. I am not better than other people, and I'm definitely not gifted in intelligence or communication or a specific subject matter. I actually think it usually takes me longer to absorb information than most people. But something in me is always comparing to make sure that I am better than others. And I am assuming it's because of all the red pill content that I assumed years ago. Overall, I think that all the red pill crap a few years ago was just taking extreme stances on things that are generally acceptable. If I just took a more pragmatic approach, I could have avoided months worth of bad advice. Instead of needing to make as much money as possible, any way possible, and judge myself against others that are doing the same thing, I could have looked at the pros of discipline and compared my own progress to myself, trying to be better every single day. Instead of being arrogant and looking down on people, I could just look at my own strengths and see what I can do to help others. And here's one thing that I haven't even touched on, but is also a big part of this whole thing. Instead of believing that all women are evil because I got cheated on, I can accept the past, acknowledge that there are some unfaithful people, but there are also faithful people. I can move on and not let one bad experience ruin any chances of ever being in another relationship. No one else is responsible for what happened to me. So why should I be mad at them for something that they didn't do? I was a perfect test subject for red pill content. I was young, confused, in a new environment, angry at my ex-girlfriend and not fitting in with other people or other groups. It is much more important for me to filter out what I look at on social media and honestly to not use social media at all. It's nice to learn new things and new philosophies and new ways of life, but make sure that you don't mindlessly consume it and actually take time to decide if what the algorithm is telling you is it actually good or is it bad? Or is it somewhere in the gray where you can take a pragmatic approach and filter out the good from the bad? So that's all I got today. Thank you for watching. I would appreciate it if you wanted to check out some of my other videos and see if you like the content I make. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. So see you later. Bye.